Nike really just made the same shoe for the third year in a row. Yo guys, Zakaragi here for a performance review for the Nike Sabrina 3. I know it's been a while since my last review, but we're finally back at it again. I'm trying to get more consistent with the long form content, so hold on with me guys, I will get to it and I will be posting more like this. I know I've been really heavy on the YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and TikToks and whatnot, but we're finally getting back to this type of content, so be sure to subscribe if you're new here, and if you're a returning viewer, I appreciate you guys. Make sure to drop a like and a comment. Now, without further ado, let's get straight into this review. So the Nike Sabrina 3 is going to retail for $135 US or $170 Canadian if I'm not mistaken. Now, also if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure that is the same price as the Sabrina 2, which is last year's model, so that's a good thing. But one thing I just don't like about this shoe right off the bat is the fact that it really hasn't changed from model to model. From the 1 all the way to the 3, it's damn near the same silhouette as it's always been, and they're still going for that Kobe look. They're not really deviating away from that. Now, from what I've read online, Nike is really preaching consistency here from model to model, especially with the Sabrina 3. They wanted to give the fans that same feel that they know and love from the Sabrina line, and me personally, I just think that is completely lazy. Like, Nike could have done a lot more with this shoe and sort of given it its own unique individuality that ties more to Sabrina as opposed to Kobe, but I'm not Nike and they are, so they're gonna do what they're gonna do, because obviously whatever is Kobe or Kobe-esque these days is gonna sell, and that's exactly what we have going on here. Now, this is the blueprint colorway, which is the debut colorway, and I really think this is a really nice looking shoe. Like, it is beautiful with all the blues and the hits of like subtle gray and then the gold. Really nice. And I do want to shout out the box here. I do have some cords on top of here that you gotta get rid of, but the box is really cool as well. We have a blueprint design on there, kind of ties to the colorway itself. Really dope look right there, so that's also nice. And I do want to point out right away, one thing that I noticed that was different from the Sabrina 1 and 2 is actually the fit of the shoes. Now, they're still the same as usual. They're going to fit a little bit more narrow and more snug, but they fit longer this time on the Sabrina 3s. So with the Sabrina 1 and 2, I did actually go true to size and I had no problems with that. So I went with the woman's 11.5, which translates to a men's 10. Now for these guys right here, I actually had to go with the men's 9.5, which is a woman's 11, because these things just fit a bit longer. I don't know why, but hey, so just keep that in mind if you are shopping for a pair, and if you are a wide footer, you're probably best with going just true to size. That should offset the sort of narrowness of the shoe. Another thing that I noticed right away are the materials. Now, these definitely feel like an upgrade from Sabrina 2, because those guys had really bad materials in my opinion. They were cheap, they were flimsy, and they didn't have the best durability. I had a friend who had a pair and his pair was literally falling apart after a couple of months, which really shouldn't be happening. Now, thankfully with the Sabrina 3, the materials definitely feel more sturdy and more durable, which is great. Now, these materials consist of textile, screen mesh, and synthetic leather. Now, it's nothing premium, but it obviously gets the job done. They're comfortable on foot, didn't really need any break-in time, and yeah, they're just good to go on court. Now, I will say one thing I didn't like about the materials were actually the glue stains all over the uppers, and now I hate seeing that, and thankfully that didn't translate into any durability issues when I was playing in them. Now, I can't speak for your experiences out there. You guys may run into that. Just in case, I will let you guys know now, but hopefully you guys don't. But all in all, materials were great, no problems there. Breathability could be a bit better though. Okay, so moving along to the cushion setup, and it's literally the exact same setup as last year. No changes whatsoever, and that's pretty lazy on Nike's part. They could have added some more things to the cushion setup, but I'm going to give them a bit of a pass on this one just because this is very solid on court. Now what we have here is a Cushlon 3.0 midsole with a Zoom Air unit in the forefoot. Now what you're getting out of this setup is a low to the ground feel with amazing court feel. You're getting a nice responsiveness from that Zoom Air unit, and they're also going to have a surprising amount of impact protection as well. At least that's what I found for myself. So all in all, very solid setup. I didn't really have much complaints other than the fact that I want Nike to improve from model to model. So with the 3 right here, you know, they've never actually had heel zoom, so maybe adding that to the shoe would have been nice, or even switching the Zoom Air unit for a Zoom Strobel, or maybe even a Zoom Turbo unit in the forefoot would have been also a nice touch as well, but maybe for the Sabrina 4. Now this shoe will definitely cater towards guards, but if you're a player who wants more of a bouncy feeling or just wants more cushion in general, then these really aren't for you. So when it comes to the traction setup for the Sabrina 3s, they did update this pattern from last year's model. So what we have are a bunch of S-shaped patterns all across the outsole in the shape of a radial shaped traction pattern. Now this is a translucent finish, which is part of this colorway. When it comes to clean courts, no problems whatsoever, just hard, consistent stops every single time, no matter the move I was doing. But when it comes to those dirtier courts, I did have some problems with the outsole. Now, these do pick up a lot of dust, just being that they are a translucent outsole, which typically picks up more dust than your standard typical solid rubber outsole. And as someone who sort of relies on speed and hard stops, quick changes of direction, and footwork, I guess I should say, I did run into some problems when the outsole did have a lot of dust on it and I wasn't wiping it off. So I noticed I would slide out just enough to the point where I would kind of lose my balance, or I wouldn't be able to do the move that I was doing because I was sliding out a bit. But after wiping, this does go away, so just be sure to keep up with wiping and you will be good to go. Now moving along to the lockdown and the overall containment of the shoes, and I felt like they did a fantastic job. As soon as I laced these up, I felt secure and contained within these shoes. You will notice that there are some flywire threads popping out of the eyelets on the side panels of the shoe. These do a great job of just holding your foot into place and making sure it's attached to the footbed and pushed back into that sturdy heel counter. So really no problems at all. And when it comes to the containment here, laterally, no problems either, because you are sitting within this midsole, which acts as a wall for your foot. And then the overall stability you get from these shoes is great because you do have a nice outrigger on the side of the shoe and a nice flat wide base, so that's also another plus. Now when it comes to the overall support of the shoes, it was good, but I felt like it could have been a bit better, especially when it comes to the midfoot shank plate within them. It's not very big, and it's the same shank plate as the Sabrina 2 and Sabrina 1 if I'm not mistaken, so it doesn't extend out very far, which I wish it would, because with the Sabrina 3s right here, I did experience a little bit of midfoot pain on my left foot because I felt like the support from that shank plate wasn't the greatest. It could have been a bit better, so just keep that in mind. Obviously, if I wore like a move insole, for example, with the larger shank plate that's attached to that, I might have circumvented that problem, but all in all, it is what it is. So just keep that in mind if you do plan on playing in these. But overall, guys, if you like the Sabrina 2s, then you're gonna like the Sabrina 3s a little bit more. It's pretty much the same shoe with just some minor upgrades. So would I recommend paying that full price for a Sabrina 3 when you can buy a pair of Sabrina 2s on sale? Probably not. So save your money, buy a pair of Sabrina 2s on sale. So comment down below and let me know what you think about these shoes. If you have any questions whatsoever, I'll be happy to answer them in the comment section down below. But we're at that point in the video now, it's time for hashtag Zacharagi, what you rocking. And for today, this is another shoe that I've been reviewing recently. This thing is amazing right here. This is the Puma All Pro Nitro 2. I did a short performance review already, link will be up here. A full-length detailed review will be coming out soon, so stay tuned for that. But that is it for today, guys. I appreciate you all watching and tuning in again. I'm signing out. Peace.